Challenges are vast. One of the craziest things about going into a war zone is that technology has moved on. So you now download an app before you go, which is called well, there are many apps, Air Alert Ukraine, and so you put in where you're going to be, and then whenever there's an air alert or there's news of a missile being fired, your phone and your watch start bleeping, telling you to go to the shelter. On top of that, the other thing that was really difficult, we went to see some abandoned villages which were formerly on the front line, and then people are starting to move back in as the front line has shifted, but there's ordnance and there's mines everywhere. So again, with kids, with families, you move back to your destroyed house, you're living with relatives around the corner. We met one family whose house had been completely destroyed by a bomb. They moved out, moved back in with a sister around the corner, but their kids are running around, as kids do, and there's mines, there's exploding ordnance. We heard about one kid in the village who was 16, who was trying to charge her mobile phone from a telegraph pole and got blown up by a cluster bomb lying around. So it's an extraordinary place for kids to be growing up, and obviously just a completely horrible place for kids to grow up in. Again, I'm kind of used to a war environment. I think what really interests me about it is because I grew up in that sort of situation, and I don't think I had PTSD, but I did grow up in the middle of a civil war, and it must have really affected me. But at the time, no one dealt with stuff like that. You just got on with it. And strangely, humour is a really good way to cope. Certainly in Lebanon and in Ukraine, there's a very black humour, and comedy is massively important in that. It is a way of kind of expressing your deepest fears, your anxieties, and it's also just a release. I mean, you need to laugh, and however bad a situation is, there are still funny moments.